This week's high temperatures and high humidity put student athletes at an increased risk of heat illness. There are several types of heat illness that range from severity, from heat cramps to being mild, heat exhaustion, and the most severe heat stroke. As an athletic trainer, my role is to help prevent these preventable illnesses. Ways that I do that is through education and monitoring the playing conditions for our coaches, our student athletes, and our community. The first thing that I typically do is use a wet bulb globe temperature that measures the playing surfaces and accounts for ambient temperature, relative humidity, wind, and radiation from the sun. I take that reading and then make practice recommendations or accommodations for the events or practices that are happening that day. Some of the things that we might do is modify the length of time that someone practices outdoors. We shorten those activities, we make them less intense. Maybe it's a walkthrough or lifting weights inside versus doing conditioning that is typically a higher intensity activity to account for heat. The other thing is that we prepare our practices and events for the appropriate tools to keep somebody cool. We do that by making ice immersion tubs available, especially if somebody does suffer heat stroke. We want to cool them first and then transport, and we want to make sure that we have those available on our sidelines. We want to make sure that we have plenty of electrolytes and water, shaded areas with plenty of rest incorporated into practices. We want to make sure we have cooling towels and ice available to keep the body cool while they are resting. Just having that opportunity for the student athlete to have a break, to cool down, and then to go back into activity is really important in maintaining a normal body temperature. We also want to educate our student athletes on what they should be wearing. So another accommodation that we might use is that we will not go full pads for a football practice. We want students to wear light colored clothing, very thin and breathable clothing, and again, removing any unnecessary equipment that might be required of their sport.